Okay, so I'm having internet problems, but we're here and hopefully we can survive for the next bit of time that we're here. So sorry about the internet problems, but I don't know. Lately, some weird stuff has been going on here. But I'm Joe, and this is Anachronic Comics. And thanks to everybody for showing up. And we're going to show some original art, maybe some prints, things like that. There is a link that's pinned to the top if you want to join, because you have some stuff to show. That would be great. Right now, if I could add him, if it works. Yeah, there he is, Dave. Studios has some stuff to show. Dave, I don't know what happened during the blackout, whether you were there or not, but when I restarted, you were still there. So I was really glad that you were still with us at that point in time. Thanks. How you doing tonight?
Good, Joe. I'm doing well.
So you're, huh?
I'm sorry, Joe. You've just faded out for a second.
I'm sorry. You're in Denver, right?
Yeah. I'm in Denver. Just got home from work actually about 10 minutes ago, and I've been real quick. I've been a collector since probably the very late 70s. Collector
so I'm glad
comic
you're joining
books.
us. I'm still having some trouble, guys. So hopefully, yeah. I mean, what I was saying, Dave, is I'm still having some trouble here. Yeah. So I don't know. There must be something going on with the cable system, I think. But hopefully we'll get through it and we'll see how it works out. All right. So let's see who else has joined us if I can make this work. It's really lagging, guys. I'm sorry about that. It's really lagging. So we do have Brad Wellbore is here. See, it's not coming up really well. I might have to just do it. There we go. We have Brad. That's good. We have Trev. It's really lagging. All right, Trev. Thanks for being here tonight, my friend. Okay, we have James Las Cruces is here also. And there he is. Terrific. All right, we have Mike Evils Comics is here. Ready to see some original art. Okay, who else do we have? We have Gary B. Let's see if I can get Gary up there. Gary, come on, Gary. There you are. All right, we got you. And let's see, that might be it for now. All right, if people get notices and they show up, we will say hi to them as we go along. All right, so and Seth is just here. I see Seth. Oh, wait, right there we go. There's Seth. Well, boy, you jumped into his Seth's place right away. There's Seth. Glad to see you tonight. All right, so it's Friday night, and we usually have some kind of a show on at least 3 of the Friday nights, right? So there was no show scheduled for tonight, and so I was thinking about it, and I should have probably checked ahead of time, but I was thinking about, well, I picked up some original art here and there, and the reason that it came to mind was I was watching the show that I put out when Matt Woods and I went to Providence, Rhode Island, and we were kind of going through some stuff there and looking at some original stuff, and it came to mind that I do have some material. I have it in this portfolio here where I save this stuff. And I said, why not just take it out and maybe we could show it, and maybe some other people would be interested in showing some stuff. I also have a lot of prints. But then event. So let me start it off. Dave, if that's okay with you. I'll just show a few things, and then we can go to you, and you can tell us what you've got. Okay? All right. So, well, the first I want to show, it's kind of like a print that all that is, let's see, what do I got here? Oh, yeah. I showed these recently. Not sure if people have seen them, but I won on Gary B's channel. I won some original art from Boss Kong, who has his own unique style. And these are covers. This is Superman number 32. Let me make myself big here so people can see it better. Come on. There's the lag. All right. So there's, and he does, let me take the certificate of authenticity out so you can see the whole thing. This one I bought, I believe. I'll show you the one that I won. And he does it on both sides. Very unique style that he does. Really good looking with respect to that. The one that I won was this Deadpool. Again, let me take this certificate of authenticity out. Deadpool on this side, and a Wolverine kind of Captain Canuck on the other side. Really, really nice. I mean, it does a really great job on it. And one other thing then that I bought from him as well, which I thought was really cool, set these aside, is this Superman.
Oh, wow.
I mean, I don't even know how he does this, frankly.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just beautiful, and it just shines. It's so shiny. It's got this gloss type of thing where he uses whatever he uses that he draws on and paints on. It's really, really great. I can't wait to get my comic book room so I can put this one up and frame it and put it in there.
Joe, what's
The other
the
thing,
size? Joe, what's the size on that approximately?
that is about a. Do I have my little size thing here? No, I don't, unfortunately. Usually I have a. No. Usually
like
I have a ruler here, but I
comic.
don't. It's I'd say if you take a look at a comic book, let me get a let me see. Let me get a sheet of paper. Take a look at a sheet of paper. This is the 8.5 by 11.
Okay,
so you see
yeah.
It's slightly larger,
Slightly
not
larger.
too much larger than that. See, right there. Really nice looking though. All right. So those are three that I had won. And one other thing was that he had, besides the obligatory stickers, hashtag kick sticker people, he had this that he stuck on the envelope. So I love Wonder Woman. So I just cut this one out and I said, I'm keeping this as well. So really, really cool. So that's Boss Kong. He's on Instagram. And so you can certainly ask him to do stuff for you. I asked him to do the Superman for me, and then I bought that other Superman that he had as well. Yeah, they're amazing, Trev. I agree. Really, really good stuff. The other one that I want to show you is the one that was on the thumbnail. This is a gift I received a long time ago from Madame Blaster. So she had done a few of these for people. This is before she got really, I was, I think, her second. I think she did Matt Woods first. She did me second as she was developing the style for this. But, it's still really, really cool, and it was really a surprise when I got it. You see, she's got the espresso cup there for me too. So this is a great, great piece. Yeah. I mean, I really like that. I really like this. It's really fantastic. And, again, something else I'm probably going to be putting up at some point in time when I have the room for it. The other thing I want to show right now, and then I'll let you go for a bit, Dave, is at last year at IACON, it's called Independent Artists Something Conference or whatever. It was not too far. It was I think, in Poughkeepsie when I went there. And I happened to see, and I picked up some good comics. I think I have a video on it. But I happened to see Izzyverse there. And so Izzy was selling a couple of covers that he did. And so I picked them up. So he has this Spider-Man book cover that he did. Really cool. One of my faves. So I picked this one up. And of course, then I saw that. Now, I didn't want to buy two, but I really like the Spider-Man. But then I saw this and I said, okay, I got to get this. His Wonder Woman, Dawn of DC. So that was kind of cool as well. This is kind of more of a black and white. Really nice. And the last one I'll show at this point in time is this was part of C3 last year. You guys who know Actual Dracula and watch some of his videos and so forth, he is a really, really great artist. And what I saw, when I saw this, I forget how much I bid for this, but I knew I was going to win it. I think actually I just said something like 200 or something like that, and because it just was so cool. This Wolverine. Look at that. Isn't that terrific? All right. This is Actual Dracula's work. I mean, look at that. Look at that work. He must have spent a lot of time on this. Let's see if I get a good picture here. Wolverine 310. All right. So Adrian does just a fantastic job on these. All right. Yeah. Drac does a good job on these. So that's my start. All right. So Dave, let's make you big and let's show. Dave probably has some really cool stuff, much cooler than mine, I'm sure.
Well, real quick about myself. So I'm not quite as old as Joe, but I've been collecting since the late 70s.
Nobody's
And
as old as I am.
yeah, and I collected for a while, and then like a lot of us when we were young adults, I took a break from collecting. I bought my first house and stuff like that, and my break was kind of long, and then I got back into it probably about 15 years ago, although I never really stopped, but I wasn't actively doing stuff. And I used to go to San Diego Comic-Con starting in about probably 86 when I got out of college, 87, and went to that religiously up through most of the 1990s. But it wasn't until I got back into comic books, I took a break, as I mentioned, and then got back into comic books probably around 2010 when I started picking up some art. I kicked myself because, back in the day, I probably could have some Romita Senior Spider-Man pages, stuff like that, but I got into it late. So you're going to see a fair amount of stuff from Gary Frank. Gary is, as you guys probably know, he was a Hulk artist back in the 90s for Marvel. He then went over to DC and was an exclusive for DC, doing a lot of Batman stuff, especially with Jeff Johns.
Yeah.
And then
Great artist.
Yeah, great art. And then and you're gonna see it. And then recently, of course, he's branched off with Jeff Johns and some other people, and has formed a company called Ghost Machine. But anyway, I'll start off with this cover here.
Look at that.
And this is a Wonder Woman cover, and I'll show you the actual book. But and obviously she's
That's beautiful.
battled it out with Medusa there. And I just love her portrait there. I mean, she's looking off in the distance. You look at it, you kind of wonder, what is she thinking? And
she's thinking, when's the next time I'm going to see Joe Anachronic Comics? That's what she's thinking.
And there is the
nice,
original.
Very nice, super.
And he was exclusive with DC for quite a while, but at one point he no longer was exclusive. So he's doing a little bit of fill-in cover work for Marvel.
Wow.
And this is somewhat recent. Of course, Disney picked up the Fox Studios, and so they brought Aliens, Predator into the Marvel universe, and so they did a mini series with Wolverine. And there's a couple of interesting things I'll show you on this. There's the original.
Nice.
But I want to show you, they kind of, in doing the actual comic book, it kind of did something a couple of things that really is not particularly good. Notice here on the tank, and you can see the turret there. You can see kind of the turret there, and then there's the track. Now I want you to look and see in the original or in the copy, you can barely see the tank.
Yeah.
Yeah. And here's another one I'll show you real quick. They cropped the thing, unfortunately. Oops, wrong side. Look at this dead guy here. And you can see his hand kind of there.
Yeah.
And also look up, there's a guy right there, and then you can see the Predator's full hand. Well, when they produced the comic book, the UPC code right there covers the dead guy. You can't even see him. And look at the Predator's hand's been cut off. This guy has been cut in half. Let me show you the original one more time.
But look, when you look at that issue, Dave, you see they have like the 20th Century Fox, and it looks like they have an indentation.
Exactly.
Looks like they took up a lot of room that they could have used for the full picture.
Yeah. This guy, that thing right there kind of
right.
The guy. So it's really kind of sad the amount of art that they cut off there.
Right.
And then here is actually a page out of Untold Tales of Spider-Man, I believe, 97, and it's a Tom Lyle. Yeah, my camera's going a bit wonky here.
Yeah, it's good.
And of course, the Human Torch.
Mm-hmm.
Nowadays, of course, if you notice on the newer stuff there, they don't have any word balloons because, of course, they're inserting that by digital computer. So the art nowadays, and I'll have a page there I'll show you. Okay, so here, let's see. Let me get the comic book ready. Here's another Gary Frank
Oh yeah.
piece with Mr. Nixya's Pitalik.
Mm-hmm.
And here's the original.
Nice.
Joe, do you want me to show some more? You want me to keep going, or?
Yeah, go.
Okay.
Yeah, show one more.
One more? Okay.
Your stuff is great. But before you go, let me tell you something. I have not bought any original art in that way. When I was a kid, I won in a contest from Roy Thomas, actually, a page from Justice League of America #3. I think it was #3 with Green Arrow and Flash on it. But I always tell people when I moved, I got rid of some comics and so forth. Well, also some things got lost in the move, and that was one of them. That just disappeared. I don't know what happened to it, and so I don't have it anymore. That was my only kind of original art from a comic book I ever had.
Okay.
You know? So I don't know if I'm ever going to buy some more, but in any event, let's see what else you got.
Well, the prices have gone up so much that. Okay, so this is another Gary Frank page from Batman Earth 1. I think this was volume 2 or 3. I can't remember, volume 2 or 3.
Nice.
But,
yeah.
And I really like Gary's take on Catwoman's mask there.
Uh-huh.
And,
well, he had some liberties with the Earth 1 books.
Yeah, kind of a different, little bit of a different universe, I guess. And the other thing about Gary is he does portraits really, really well. He draws faces and emotions, I think, really well.
He's one of those artists that you can kind of, when you look at it, often you can tell it's his work, though.
Yeah.
You know.
But if you look at it, you looked at his early Hulk stuff, you'd never guess it was Gary Frank. I mean, his style has changed substantially.
It can. Okay, so I don't have his greatest stuff, but let me bring out some more things that I've got here. First of all, well, I have this back here. Shop I asked him to do this for me. I don't know. Let me make myself big first. Okay. So I have that in the back. Come on, Joe. No, this is not working. You might have to be big for the rest of the show. There we go. So this is kind of cool because I like Booster Gold. And so this is kind of cool. I asked him to take this cover and to put the drawing on there, which he did, which is really cool. You know, I love stuff that's done by, people that I know or what have you. But one thing is, the other character that I like quite a bit, but I don't talk that much about, is Adam Strange. And when I was at New York Comic Con, I think it was 2 years ago, not last year, the year before, they had on the Thursday, they had a panel of artists, and they were using spray paint type of things to paint stuff with. And you can have it in black and white, you can have it in color, whatever. So I kind of splurged. So I sat down, I got this one guy, and so there was like, I think I said 5 or 6 of them across. So I'm sitting down next to the last one. There's one, then this guy who's doing me. And he says, "Who do you want?" I said, "I want Adam Strange." I said, and he would paint me as Adam Strange. And I said, "But I want him in some sort of prehistoric scenario." So he asked me, he goes, "Who's Adam Strange?" So right then I said, "Oh no, this is going to be really bad." But the guy next to him said, "Oh, Adam Strange. I love Adam Strange." And he's talking about Adam Strange. He takes out his phone. He's showing him Adam Strange and all that. So the guy does this, and I'll show it to you in a second. And later on, I saw that there was a Supergirl cover that was almost the same, you know? And this is it right here. So that's me as Adam Strange. I said I wanted him shooting a ray gun at a dinosaur. And so he had the dinosaur kind of at the bottom, ready to bite me, whatever. And these guys were really good. I mean, he just did this with this kind of spray paint thing. And I mean, it was just amazing to watch them even work. I stayed there for about an hour just watching them do others, you know, and they would do whatever you wanted, you know. And this year when I went back, I was hoping they would be around, but they weren't. So I was saying, I'm going to make me Booster Gold this time, but they're not around. That was a great thing. I think it wasn't cheap. I think the color in this size, which is fairly large, was something like $70 or $80. All right. But they're sitting down there and they're doing the work. And there was a handler. So I'm sure he didn't make all that money himself. You know, there was somebody who set it up. You know, yeah, the caricature. That's right, Trev. So it's really, really quite cool. So I really love this picture. It's really good. I don't know if it looks a lot like me. It looks enough like me so that it's fine. So that's kind of cool.
Joe, how long did it take them to?
It was over half an hour.
Okay.
I'd say.
Yeah.
You know, it was around half an hour I was sitting down there and doing it. So that's why they had 6 of them. And you kind of had to wait until one of them opened up. You paid the woman. You kind of stayed in line. And when one of them opened up, you sat down. Trev says it definitely looks like me. Thanks, Trev. I appreciate it. All right. Next one I want to show is this one. Way back when I first started on YouTube, I became friendly with this one guy. His handle was slotted up. I think it was 515, if I remember the numbers. Really, really nice guy. He eventually just said, you know, he had enough and wasn't going to do it anymore. I mean, he sent me some stuff. I sent him like some Batman things that I had and so forth. And he had this one guy on his name is Dallas Anderson. He's on Instagram as well. Under the handle I Follow Turtles. Okay. And so he was on there. He had done some artwork for Slot and for some other people. And this is my original, my OG picture. Matter of fact, I do have here my original drawing. I colored it on the computer, but this is the original drawing that I made. And you see that at the beginning of all my videos because I just kept that one. But this is a t-shirt. There's only about 3 of these t-shirts made. Okay, I made a couple for friends and made one for myself. So this was the original drawing that I used to make this. But when I wanted something a little bit more stylistic, and I got my current one, but I got it from I Follow Turtles, Dallas, and this is the original that he made and he sent to me. Here, again, pretty cool. This is the original, right? And because he says I Follow Turtles, he sent me an original. I think it's I Follow Turtles. It's an original turtle that he put together, and he sent this to me as a bonus for getting him to do this one for me. So again, very cool. This is the original of what you see as my handle right now. And the last one I'm going to show right now. Then I'm going to show a couple of other things after you go. But the last one to show right now is there were a lot of really great artists, and a lot of them were part of the Reggie Collects community. And Reggie used to have every year his Garage Con. And when he moved to the East Coast, I didn't go to the ones in the West Coast, but he moved to the East Coast, I started going to his Garage Cons. And there's this one guy, he's an emergency room nurse. His name is Randy Resnake. And just out of the blue, it's just so nice. I met him for the first time there a number of years ago. Yeah, Randy Resnake, right. And he says, Joe, I know you like the Justice League, so I made this for you. I drew this for you and inked it for you. It is just fabulous. Look at that. This guy's an emergency room nurse, and he can draw like this. I mean, look at this. It's amazing. He's drawing things for other people as well. I'm just so happy that I've got this. I was like floored. It was just amazing. First of all, that he thought of me. And he gave this to me. I remember Reggie was standing next to me. He goes, hey, what about me? So Reggie did pull something out and give him something, you know?
Kind of has a Jim Lee look to it.
I mean, look at this. I mean, how long does it take someone to do something like that?
Yeah, that's fabulous.
Hey, John. How you doing? Yeah, we're just showing some artwork that we happen to have. You know, so this original was just, I mean, it's just fantastic. It's a fantastic piece of art that he had. Matter of fact, I was down and I was flying back home and I was saying, what am I going to do so I don't ruin this thing? And this is what I did. I put it in one of these. So with a piece of cardboard, so it'd be stiff. And I just kind of put it in the, you know, in my suitcase in a way that I was hoping it wouldn't get hurt. And that would be that. And that's it. So I guess it's, let me show, I'll show you one other. Dave Bratton, my DC bro. Fantastic guy. I love the Bratton brothers. Dave gifted me this last year. And it's his version of Booster Gold. Yeah. That he gave me. You know, super cool. All right. So thank you to Dave for that. Okay. Let's get you back up there, Dave, with the more expensive stuff.
Okay, so Gary Frank, he's British, but he lives in Italy, and he married an Italian woman. He's got a family,
Smart man.
Boys, and so he doesn't get over here to the States very much. But he came to San Diego Comic-Con a number of years ago, and he put together a sketchbook that he sold during his visit. And Gary, you know, he was a Hulk artist. I believe he's only done 3 Spider-Man covers in his entire career, but he did just because for the hell of it, a sketch of for his sketchbook in the San Diego Con.
Wow, look at that.
This piece, and Spider-Man is my favorite character. I'm a Spider-Man collector, and you know, the cool thing about this piece is that notice where Spider-Man's hand is on his thigh there. Spider-Man's about to push off from Hulk's, and of course Hulk is about ready to crush him. So it's kind of a little story there. Did Spider-Man push off in time, or did he?
You know, Dave, when I first saw this, when you brought this up and I first saw it, I didn't even notice Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I had to look, you know, after I looked at it for a while, I said, oh, wait, there's Spider-Man there.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very nice.
So I was really, really happy to get this as a Spider-Man collector. You know, and Gary, he's such a master at the human form too. He draws feet, unlike some artists by the name of Rob. And so, you know, it's not very often that you have any of the human forms misshapen in his art.
Let me just remind people, if somebody has something they want to show, the link is at the top of is pinned at the top.
All right, so here's another cover.
Wow.
And of course, you got Wonder Woman and Superman fighting Doomsday there.
Which comic book was that?
Well, I'll show you.
Okay.
And the original is Action Comics, and this is issue 962 during the Rebirth series.
It's very nice.
Oops. Come on, camera. So here's another Action cover, and I'll show you the original. But here is Clark not having a very good day.
That's true there.
And here's the original.
There it is. Mm-hmm.
It's cool to see the originals and then the colored version.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Sometimes the colored version, you lose some of the detail. And then let's see, Joe, I've got two more here.
Okay.
This is another Action Comics. Now, this one really, it's kind of quintessential Superman. If you recall from the Christopher Reeve Superman #1,
Yeah.
a big scene was where the helicopter goes off the top of the Daily Planet building. And
yeah, I got you, but who has you? You got me,
yeah,
but who has you? Yeah,
great
that was
line,
great line.
And so when this became available, I kind of had to have it.
Wow, that's a great one. I love the people looking out the windows.
Yeah, look at the people in the windows there. And the original.
Yep.
Is this one. And here, I think, if I can hold them up, let's see. I don't know. You can really kind of see the loss of detail, I think, in the color copy versus the
Oh yeah.
the original.
That's why sometimes I kind of like when they have a, what they call a sketch cover,
Yeah.
black and white, because usually it's a lot more dramatic. You can see them all much better.
And then the final thing, I'm going to really switch gears on you. One of the things that my sub collecting in comics has been Christmas comic books. I have a fairly extensive Christmas comic book collection. The first
nice.
cover that I ever bought was this Dan DiCarlo, Betty and Veronica cover.
Cute. Very nice.
Back there when the comics were $1.50. So this was from the 90s. And there's the original,
there or
the comic.
Right. Very good.
So, well,
nice.
Joe, that's all I got to show tonight.
It was great. I'm glad you came up there because I had all this cheapo stuff and you came up with all the expensive things. Yeah. So I'm going to show you now. I'm going to show you some stuff that I've done. Okay. Other than this one. But before I do that, we talk about comic book art and so forth, but I have a friend. People that know me know that I was in a Boy Scout leader for over 20 years. And I was teaching what's called Wood Badge, which is teaching adult leaders, helping them, learn how to deal with the boys and do programming and all that. And a friend of mine, Donna, was super artistic. I have more of her stuff downstairs. I just didn't bring it up. I just wanted to bring one example of it. All right. So this was one of the ones where I was on staff with her, and she took a feather. I mean, I have like wood thing that she's done, like she's engraved the wood in it. I was there were different totems, and I was a buffalo. That was my totem. And so I don't know if you could see this. I hope you can. But I just came across this, I said, I got to show something of Donna's because it's fantastic. But look at this. This is a feather, and look at that.
Oh, wow!
Isn't that amazing? Yeah, I was an assistant scoutmaster for that particular thing right there. I have another one that she painted on a wood piece, and some. I mean, just fantastic artistic ability. There's so many people that have that. I don't, although I'm going to show you some stuff of mine. But before I do that, let me show you. There is an artist. Let me bring in one of his. Let's see. There is an artist who has, or had anyway, a web cartoon, right? And he actually was at New York Comic Con 2 or 3 years ago. I can't remember exactly when it was. And I had conversed with him a few times on Instagram and so forth. And matter of fact, I'm going to go back and put the link so you can read them. He has had, because he doesn't do it anymore. I think he's kind of branched out and is doing some real comic book stuff and all of that. So he hasn't published anything of that in a long time, though he might in the future. But it's called JL8, right? And the name of the person is Yale Stewart. And JL8 is a web comic book about a web comic strip about the Justice League members when they were 8 years old. It's really, really amazing. And he's got about 287 strips on there. So if you're new to it, and again, I don't have the link there yet, but I'll put it on afterwards. If you go to it and you take a look at it, you'll have the pleasure of going from the first run through number 200 and whatever it happens to be. It's just fantastic. So I wanted to show a couple of things I bought from him. These are not all of them. I have a few of them. But this is the one here. It says, "We will be giants." And you can see Martian Manhunter, Power Girl, Wonder Woman, Superman, Batman, Green Lantern, and the Flash. And he signed them for me. Right. And then I bought these things to put them in. So it's just such a fun thing. There's some seriousness there, and there's some other stuff that's a little bit more, fun or funny. Here's another one with Bruce and Clark. They go by their first names. They don't call each other Batman or Superman. Bruce and Clark. And they're 8 years old, so they're like in third grade, And I think I forget, some of the teachers, are kind of different people that are there. It's kind of interesting the way he does it. And this was a really cool one. I really like this one.
Yeah.
Pretty nice, right? So what I've got is a giveaway. Yep, it's a giveaway. And the giveaway is this strip. And I don't know if you could see it all, but let's see. So you see, starting this side. So you see here, there's Bruce going, all right? And Clark says, "Hey, Bruce, what are you doing?" And he says, "I'm playing Spider-Man." Says, "Oh." Then they both going down with their hands. I thought that was pretty cool. So I'm going to give this one away. And all you have to do is, not now, but in the comments when it's done, and if you're watching this on replay, I'm going to wait a couple of weeks, give you a chance to do it. Just put down hashtag Yale, Y-A-L-E. Hashtag Yale, Y-A-L-E. In a couple of weeks, we'll see how many are there. All right. And I'll pick them out, and then I'll just I'll announce it probably in a short, and we'll send it away. So again, this is a Yale Stewart. All right. I'm giving it away. Hashtag Yale in the comments when this is over. All right. Hashtag Y-A-L-E. Okay. That's it. Doesn't have capital. Doesn't have to be capital. Doesn't make any difference. Okay. Either way. Clear? Okay, great. So let me show you. I have a grandnephew. All right. Matter of fact, let me put this down. Let me put it here. Hashtag YLE. That's it. Okay. That way it's there in the comments. Now, I have a grandnephew who was enamored of Thor and of Wolverine. Okay. So this goes back a number of years. He's older now. I don't know if he says, I was buying him like Thor Thor like plate things and stuff like that. So I don't have the original of this because I gave it to him, but I did do some decent artwork, I think, for that. And so this is the first Thor that I drew for him. If I could put it up here. All right. So this is one of mine. All right. This is just, I scanned it in, I photocopied it. All right. So that was one Thor. And then he kept on talking about Thor Ragnarok, Thor Ragnarok. So the next year, when I went over to see him, I put this one together for him.
Oh, wow.
Thor Ragnarok. All right. Oops. Come on, Thor. All right. So put this together for him. And then he says, you know, Uncle Joe, I really like Wolverine. I know what that meant. So I did this one for him.
Oh,
Wolverine.
cool.
Simple, but okay. So I got that. What else do I have here that I can show? I couldn't find the original of this, but with the comic book crowd, I think it was around episode 3. So it goes back 3 years. The suggestion was that we draw something and have people vote on it. And I came out second to Madam Blaster. But this is what I put together. I love Bruce Timm. Okay. And I'm a Batgirl fan. So I put this together as my entry. Okay. And I think I got 3 votes. I think Madam Blaster got something like 28 votes. I got 3. That was basically it. And what else do I have here? And for Gary's birthday, and again, this is a photocopy because I gave him the original. I put together this for him about 2 years ago, was it? Okay, because he really likes it. Yeah. Do you remember that? Brad remembers that. Yeah. So I put this together for him. This is just a copy of it. And did I have, okay. And the last thing that I had, I think, oh yeah. When I was a school teacher for, I don't know, about 9 years. The last few, I was going to law school, right, to be a lawyer. And people knew that I had a little bit of talent. And so they asked me a few times, you did. Gary says he just looked at that again last week. I'm glad you enjoyed it, Gary. So they asked me a few times to put together posters. So one was for cleanup at the end of one of the years. So I made up a character called Captain Garbage. And he was, you know, standing in a garbage can. You know, he had a flowing cape and his face was covered and all this. And he was like pointing and saying, you know, clean up the place, whatever else. But I had another one, and I happened to come across it. I actually had forgotten about this. They had the high school, it was a high school, had a fundraiser. And apparently, I really have no recollection of this. The first one was stolen after a day it was up. And then about 2 years ago, I was over the assistant principal's house, and he showed it to me. He had actually taken it down and brought it home. He said it was so good he didn't want it to be destroyed, so he took it home, and it was hanging up in his office. So I said, okay, that's fine. But this one here, I have no recollection of, but I know I did it because I have it. It's in a little bit of a bad shape, but it looks like there was more to it than this. But it looks like we raised at least $55,000. The drive was for $50,000. So this was my attempt at Batman. You know, be a superhero, sell your chance books, and help us raise the quota. Get a 4-day. Yeah, we're giving away a 4-day weekend. You can see it was a $50,000 thing, and I think we raised $55,000. It's there. Wow. You know. So, hey Tina, thanks for showing up. Now, I always had trouble with arms stretching out.
I didn't want to say anything, Joe.
That's okay. That's okay.
And it looks like his right arm was amputated.
Yeah, it does. It does look that way, right? So, he had it behind him. He had his hands like with the, you know, yeah. Hoping that we make the $50,000 that's there, you know. But it was kind of cool. I forget where I found this. It was rolled up somewhere. And I said, oh shoot, look at this, you know. So this is kind of cool to find it, you know. And let's see. The only other thing that I have is recently, I think I have it here. Do I? Oh, maybe I don't. But recently, recently I was on Geek Out with Roscoe. I was on his Between the Lines thing. And you talk now, Dave, this is the arms situation. So this is one, and I'd like to do this again. I hadn't drawn anything in about 3 years almost. And Phil from Philtastic was telling me about this. And I said, yeah, maybe I'll go on. And it had to do with the B or C listers, right? And so he's on for about 2.5 hours. And during that time, you draw. And then if you want to, you can send it to him via Instagram, and he'll show it. So I decided to do the bug, ambulance bug. What? No, what's it called? What's he called? Oh shoot, I forgot his name. I don't know why. I'm getting too old for this.
Ambush bug.
Ambush bug. Thank you.
Okay.
Ambush bug. Right.
Okay.
Now you're gonna take a look at this, David. You're gonna see that the head is too big and the left arm is too long. So after 3 years, and after like, I mean, I think I drew that thing from Batman in 1970, in the mid 1970s. But even at this point in time, I'm still not too good at it. This is what I drew. I can't find the original, but I happened to scan it in to send to him. So this is it. I don't know what I did with the original. But as I said in the comment, I said, boy, that Raid can looks really, really good.
Yeah.
You know? So, but it's kind of tough because you're kind of doing it, while he's talking, and you can't really go back, and if you want to hand it in, you hand it in, and that's basically it. So anyway, so I decided to show some of my stuff. So anyway,
Joe, you beat my stick. You beat my stick people all to hell. So you got nothing to be embarrassed about.
Well, I actually took a drawing course about 3 years ago, and with this really wonderful artist here in town, and she was like very good. She showed me a bunch of things, but what it was like a 3-hour class once a week on a Saturday morning. And the thing that I found out was, I mean, she gave you good hints and talked about different things, and I think it was really, really good, but it was very intense. I don't know how like a Gary Frank and so forth does it, but when you sit down there and you're doing this thing and you're looking at something or you're trying to redo something, it is so, I mean, a lot of times at the end of 2 hours, I was exhausted. And the last half an hour I just hung out. It's just really, really hard to do. And so I drew a lot of good stuff, and I was kind of happy towards the end of the course. I was really getting much better at it. So I think this winter, when I go down to Florida, I've signed up for another pencil course down there. So I'll be taking that, and we'll see how that works out. And maybe I'll get a little bit better at arms, and heads. Anyway. All right. So that's it, guys. Thanks, Dave, for showing up.
No problem.
Saved the show. I mean, that Gary Frank stuff, and even the Betty and Veronica thing. I mean, those are fantastic. I mean, original artworks are really, really fantastic, and you should be proud that you have them. I saw John. John says he's just started collecting, and so I think. Hey, Mark, I didn't see you come in. Okay, yeah, but so he's starting to collect. I know other people that have started to collect some of that stuff too. I think I'm just too old to collect this stuff right now, but we'll see. I was looking at, there was this one booster gold that I was looking at. It was really good, and the guy always has it on eBay for $375. Then one time he reduced it to 300, and I was going,
yeah.
And I didn't take it, and he put it back up to 375. I don't know if he ever sold it or anything like that, but anyway. All right. So again, Dave, thanks for showing up. I want to thank everybody who showed up in the chat. Again, if you want to win this C.L. Stewart, Bruce and Clark comic strip, all right, all you have to do when this is over is go in the comments and put down #Yale. That's #YALE. No caps necessary. All right, thanks a lot, guys. And again, Dave, thank you so much for showing up. I really appreciate you showing up and helping me out with this. It's been
no problem.
Really
Thanks for having me, Joe.
All right, and with that, if I could find my exit. Okay, take care, guys. Bye-bye.
Good night.